What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Asics Menace 4, which is Australia's #1 Asics selling football boot. And I'm very excited to see what all the hype is about. So let's get these unboxed straight away. Very traditional Asics box. This is what all of the Asics football boots come in, regardless of where you are in the world. You've got the Asics logo here on the top. You've got Asics logo there on the big side, on the small side. Continuation of the big logo there. And then of course here on the front, you've got the Menace 4 in the vibrant yellow and graphite gray. These are a US 9, my usual size. You've got a Euro 42.5 and a UK 8, 27 centimeters. Now, one of the things when we talk about sizing, I do go half a size down for the DS Lite X Fly 5 and 5 Special Edition in that white and blue colorway. The Asics X Fly Pro, I tried the first gen, haven't tried the second gen, haven't had those on feet yet. I'm trying to get those in soon. Some Asics boots I can go either a 9 or an 8.5 US. With these, I wanted to go true to size just to see kind of what they fit like. And if they fit a little bit long, then I'll let you know in the on-feet portion of the video. So let's get these unboxed straight away. And here we go. Oh, vibrant yellow. Holy moly. Bam. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Menace 4. These are pretty lightweight feeling. They feel a little bit lightweight. They're about 220 grams, so they are about 7.7 ounces. Let's take this out of there, and then let's actually just get these unboxed, and then we'll talk all the tech specs of this football boot. We got some good things to read there. No string bag with these boots, which is fair enough. So here we go. So now we got the boots there, and we're actually just gonna read. So Sports Medicine Australia recommended. So one of the reasons why Asics, I think, has come up a lot especially in the Australia and Pacific region, is because they provide not only a heel lift in some of their football boots, but they are also known as the kind of the biggest brand in a lot of other sports that are played in Australia. Things like Australian rules football, rugby, netball, volleyball, like a lot of sports that Australia in particular and New Zealand play a lot. And so they've come up in the football game, and they are recommended by a lot of podiatrists and stuff because of their focus on ergonomic fit and the way that it should feel almost like, not quite like a running shoe, obviously, because a running shoe has often a thick sole and stuff, but as close to a comfortable fit and feel as would potentially a running shoe have. And so that's one of the things that, in my opinion, make Asics boots, especially DS Lite X Fly Pro and X Fly 5, so comfortable. Like they are one of the most comfortable football boots I've ever tried on in my life, and I always recommend them to people because I think they're that good. The Menace is a synthetic leather upper or synthetic upper, and are also apparently recommended by Sports Medicine Australia, which is kind of cool. So the only shoes recommended by Sports Medicine Australia. In constellation with Sports Medicine Australia, Asics have developed footwear using technology to address specific biomechanical requirements. Asics footwear bears the SMA recommended label, can improve performance and reduce the chance of injury. So that's pretty cool. And then you've got also endorsed by Australian Physiotherapy, which also has a big note that says, APA is proud to endorse this Asics shoe, which offers advanced technical features and importantly provides support for a wide variety of foot conditions and differing sports environments. Very cool. So clearly they're leaning really heavily into their ability to sort of cater to the health of the foot, which honestly is not a bad thing, because I think there are a lot of boots on the market that could use some of that type of focus, which clearly these have been developed. Excuse me. Clearly these have been developed for that purpose. So comfort, performance, but also really, really important to keep people injury-free, which is a huge thing. So here we go. So these actually have the HG 10 millimeter, which is a 10 millimeter lift in the heel area. So these are marketed for players who want a lightweight boot that is responsive and allows for quick explosions off the mark. An excellent choice for players with higher running demands. That is kind of what they advertise these towards. You've got a completely conical stud sole sole plate with the studs very similar to the DS Lite X-Fly 5 and X-Fly Pro, which are basically a circular stud that have had little cutouts in them to provide a little bit more bite when you decide to plant and then turn your foot sideways, which is awesome. I actually really rate the Asics sole plates. I think they're awesome, especially in a stud pattern like this. You really can't go wrong because it's so basic. You've got, 3 on the medial, 1 in the center, 3 on the lateral there in the forefoot, and then you've got the 4 studs in the back. Very, very hard to go wrong with, which is awesome. The entirety of this upper is made from Japanese Teijin synthetic. So this is a material that feels quite thin to the touch. It feels like honestly like a vapor of old, which is pretty cool. You've got a kind of a suede liner on the inside, which is really nice, and it does feel no nonsense. You've got a little bit of these texturing material on the forefoot, which gives it a little bit of grip, I imagine, on the ball, and then everything basically from this line back and then from this line where that dark graphic starts all the way back, it's totally a matte finish, so you're not going to get any grip elements there as well. And then you've got this really interesting kind of diamond pattern shaped there on the heel. Heel area does come up quite a bit higher than I think a lot of other boots do, but it does have a decent amount of flexibility, which is super nice. Asics heel liners just in general are super, super comfortable. I have found that the way that especially DS Lite X-Fly 5 and DS Lite X-Fly Pro fit in the heel is probably number 1 or number 2 for me as far as heel, just like objective heel comfort. It is insane how comfortable they are. So I would imagine this is going to be just fine. Although it isn't as padded, nor does it have suede on the heel. This is a synthetic leather here on the heel area, and it's much thinner and less padded. So potentially for players who have different shaped heel areas that don't necessarily fit inside this particular pair of football boots, maybe I wouldn't recommend it, but that's up for you to decide. You've got a standard U-throat tongue with the option for an extra lace hole there for the runner's knot, which is awesome. Asics includes that in I think every single one of their football boots, which is great. Just gives a little bit of adjustability. That comes out of their running shoes, which is awesome. And then you also have the typical Asics lacing system here, which is quite a lot deeper and a little bit wider with that standard U-throat tongue, which is absolutely fantastic. So good softness of the upper. I like how this feels straight out of the box, really nice. It's a very robust feeling shoe as well. The sole plate has a great amount of rigidity to it, quite a bit of snapback as well. I'm very impressed with the way that this sole plate responds to a good bit of manipulation there, which is awesome. You've got the Flight Foam midsole, so I think, obviously you can't see it, I don't think that's what this black is, but you've got the Flight Foam, which is what helps raise that heel area about 10 millimeters. For a lot of soccer players in general, and a lot of footballers of all types, I mean American football, Aussie rules football, footy, which is what some Aussies call rugby, like all the football sports, there are quite a lot of players who actually just put little heel raises in their boots, generally speaking, to sort of get them up on their toes, provide a little pain relief for their Achilles and all that stuff. So Asics have just integrated that in with that Flight Foam and that HG10 technology there as well. The forefoot studs are 10 millimeters, rear foot studs are 12 millimeters, very, very standard for most FG and AG surfaces. These are obviously an FG pair of football boots, but for most, as I said with several of the other Asics reviews I've done, most of the Asics boots, if not all of them, are suitable. Their FG model is totally suitable for AG pitches as well, because they're just conical studs. Maybe they're a little bit longer for your taste. If you play on a little bit older AG, then maybe you want one of their actual AG boots, but for me, because I play mostly on a little bit newer AG pitches, you should be totally fine with these, which is great. I'm really excited to try these on, and I think a lot of the hype is going to come from, and the reason this is such a high seller in Australia and the Asia Pacific region is I think because of the way these fit and the way these perform on feet. I think with the way that the stability of the sole plate is, the comfort of this Teijin synthetic upper, and just the way how adjustable these are, I reckon these are going to be a really comfortable pair of football boots that's also going to perform really well and just give you like a no-nonsense feel. So let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video. All right, fam, here we are in the backyard with the Asics Menace 4. Now, this is the best-selling football boot from the Asics brand in the Australia Pacific region, and I really am interested to know why. This is a obviously synthetic, Atasian synthetic material on the upper, and they feel really nice. So let's get into the on-feet portion of the video. There you go. That's what the boots look like. Very plain if I have ever seen a pair of football boots. I'm not really a fan of this color of yellow. That being said, they look pretty crazy. I will say they look pretty crazy. So here we go, getting these on feet. Oh, wow. Okay. Very nice. Synthetic material, fits true to size, 9 US. Boom, right there. One of the things that Asics does really well is if you can see, actually I'll bring this other one closer. So if you guys can see here, there are 2 little lace loops in that tongue on either side. And instead of having just one down the center, they've put 2 there because it just helps a little bit more with the rotation as you start kicking the ball and sprinting and moving all over the place. That way this tongue area doesn't shift over too much, which is just a nice little sight. The other thing that they do really well is that they put a lace loop down here. So if I did want to do the runner's knot, which I'm not going to just for the sake of this video as I'm trying these on, but if I did want to do the runner's knot, which I probably will actually do for the play test, wow, these fit really nice. I gotta admit, straight out of the box, very impressed with these. Menace 4. Nice work, Asics. Dang. There you go. Yeah, I mean, look how seamless that fits. No space there, and I haven't even used the runner's knot yet. That's super class. Synthetic feels pretty nice. It is, my toes are a little bit bunched up in the front. There's a little bit of extra space too, which basically just means that the boot is a little bit lower profile here in the toe area, and so as I break in the boots and I'll be able to flex my toes and get them out into the front of the boot as well. But yeah, I mean, fit of these boots is really nice. I'm super impressed. I was not sure what to expect because I'd never, the Menace isn't sold in the US, nor is kind of a lot of other stuff. I can get DS Lite X Fly Pro Series, X Fly 5 Series, all out of eBay, but these I can't get. So here we go. Wow, nice. I'm like really pleasantly surprised by this boot. Those fit super nice. I do notice the heel lift, so it's not crazy noticeable, but it definitely, as I'm like, you know, rocking back and forth, I do feel the little bit of the heel lift, which is nice. Doesn't feel like anything crazy. To be fair, I don't think I'm gonna get much of a comment on those until the actual play test, just because I'm probably not going to notice them a whole lot. Like, look at the movement in that forefoot. That's really nice. Whereas the midfoot is really, it feels super secure and stiff. The flexibility of that upper in the forefoot is very, very nice. So well done, Asics. Dang. I'm really impressed by this football boot. Okay, so there you go. Full look at the boots. Again, yellow, not my favorite colorway, but that being said, I'm just, you know, again, we're here to review the boots, not the color. And for me, these are they fit pretty neutral, I would say. I think these are gonna be suitable for most foot types, which is awesome. I don't have any hot spots other than, again, my toes and the forefoot are just bunching up just that tiny bit. Part of that is just because the predetermined shape of the synthetic upper is such that my toes quite aren't able to get all the way to the front, but that will come with time. The GX does that, and those are one of my favorite boots of all time, right? So not worried about it at all. From a width perspective too, as you can see, my feet are kind of bulging out on the outside here, but there is no hot spots, which to me says Asics has done a great job of making sure that the midfoot area is totally suitable for most foot types. One of the other things that I love about Asics boots is, as you can see here, look how deep and wide that lacing system is. So let's just say, for instance, that I am sitting here with these boots, right? And I have really thin feet in this area and then really wide feet here. I can adjust the laces to basically pull that tight and make sure that I have no weird bowing of the material, which, by the way, there isn't any. So the fact that this is a synthetic boot that doesn't have any bowing on the upper, no issues with like weird gaps on the outside of my ankle, which, as you guys know, is like my pet peeve or pet hate, depending on where you are in the world. very, very impressed. What the heck? And as predicted, the heel area, very, very nice. Very, very nice. Fits really well. Doesn't fit as comfortably, just like pillowy, soft, and nice suede material, and kind of hugs the back of your Achilles as DS Lite X Fly 5 and X Fly Pro. But hey, honestly, a comfortable heel area, period, is just a great sign. Now, touch on the ball. Feels good, I think. That's nice. Yeah, it's quite a thin Tasian synthetic, so that is one thing that I'm very excited for with these, is that they got a really nice feel of the ball, which is cool. And so regardless of what surface you are kind of juggling with, whether it's the lacing system area, whether it's the inside of your boot, you get a really nice feel for the ball, which is awesome. I imagine that passing, striking, manipulating the ball in any type of way is going to be great with these. The only thing that, this is totally a personal preference comment, by the way, so be ready for it. Strap yourselves in. For somebody like me who tends to prefer a little bit of a more grippy upper, these have basically zero grip. So they're going to be probably pretty slippery in wet conditions, and they're probably going to be great in dry conditions. This is not a boot that I will probably wear if it's super rainy out, maybe to break them in or whatever, or maybe to test them. But for me, I prefer something with a little more grip to the upper, even if it's a matte finish. So something like the Predator, the new Pred Strike, like those have a matte finish, so they're not necessarily slippery. They're more just like, kind of, it's almost like leather amounts of grip, right? Whereas these are like treated with a kind of shiny coat to them, not metallic obviously, but like a shiny coat to them, so they don't really have much grip elements to them, which is great for some people, and that's awesome. And it makes it, there's one layer of this upper, which is awesome, and it makes the fit super snug and nice. But for somebody like me who prefers a little more grip, that's probably what I'm gonna aim for. But overall, as just a general product, I think these are super comfortable. Like, no complaint. I'm still sitting here like, okay, I'm losing, maybe a little bit of blood out of my toes because they're still cramped up a little bit, but like, again, that happens with 90% of boots just because of my own foot shape. But for the most part, like, these boots are super comfy, and I reckon I could just go and coach in these or play in these no problem, like right away. Like, they'd give me zero issues, zero blisters. So very nice from the Menace 4. I am super pumped to see what they do with this silo next. I know that this boot has been out for a little while now, and my guess is they would probably update it pretty soon. So hopefully I can get the new ones, whatever they call the new ones, whether it's like Menace 5 or whether they go with a different name. Super stoked for what the next one is. And I'm really excited to be able to get some of these more niche boots out to you guys as well, because some of the markets obviously that you guys are from have these boots, whereas a lot of the markets that I'm used to being in the US and in parts of Europe, like, don't carry these boots, and that's really cool. So hopefully some of you guys who are watching this video now will maybe get really turned on by the Asics Menace 4 and purchase a pair for yourself. So I would just look online, type it in, Asics website, Ultra Football has them, Asics Australia has them, and go from there. So definitely a boot that I would recommend, I think, for most people if you're looking for just kind of a no-nonsense synthetic boot that's going to give you that little bit of reprieve on your Achilles from that 5mm heel lift, while also giving you the comfort and performance of conical studs, a nice sole plate, nice neutral sole plate with good midfoot stability, which is great. So again, like, not really much to complain about. Is it a boot that I'm going to jump into, or would I take, here's a better question maybe, would I take this over the other Asics products, the DS Lite X Fly 5? Probably not, because the DS Lite X Fly 5 just has that extra echelon of like pure comfort and luxury feeling. But for just like a basic synthetic football boot, these are kind of sick. Like, these actually feel super comfy, and I reckon these would be a blast to just play in, and they would sort of just disappear on your foot as you were playing with them, which is kind of what you want for a football boot, right? So very excited about these, really stoked to get these into a play test, kind of really feel like, hey, what are these like to perform in, and all that stuff as well. So stay tuned for that one. That one should be coming out pretty soon after this review as well. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.